stuff, like Automata and stuff like. I think Carl Swanji is a pretty interesting dude. I want to spend a lot more time writing him if I can.
Awesome. And what about Mike's favorite character?
I really enjoy. I mean, for me, it's the ones I like to draw the most, and so it ends up being Cardboard Tube Samurai, probably the most, and then like Twistman Gatsby.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
I don't remember when I first stumbled upon Penny Arcade, but at the time, it was right around the time I graduated high school and I was working in construction, and I remember reading the panel and then wanting to talk about it with my friends and the people I work with, and nobody got it. Nobody really knew what a webcomic was. So years go by and I read it, and in 2008 I decided to quit construction and go back to college for web development, which is something I've been inspired to do by seeing your webcomic and others out there. And through going back to school, I have friends now that got me into D&D, got me really into gaming, and we text each other every time a panel's open, or we go on Google Wave and we share panels that we see on the webcomic. And I love it. This is my first convention, and I just want to thank you guys very much for this place. And Will Wheaton's opening ceremony speech...
It was brilliant, right?
...was brilliant. And right before the panel, I was in line to see him, and I told him that this was my first convention, and his face lit up, and he would just said, "Welcome home." Yeah. And one of the things I have found out about being in Boston this weekend is everyone in this room and everyone at this convention has similar ideas and loves for gaming, and this is something I've never experienced before, and I just want to thank you guys for being able to host an event like this.
Thank you.
Happy to do it.
Thank you very much. Not really a question. I still liked it.
Hi.
Hey there.
First, the fruitophile, guy.
Yeah.
The fruit fucker's here in person. Have you seen him?
What? Oh, is it prowling around out there?
Yeah, I got a picture. It's really nice.
That reminds me, can I interrupt you for a moment?
Sure.
I saw the weirdest shit last night. maybe other people here saw it too. Did anyone see the young girl dressed as a witch?
Yeah!
So, second floor last night, outside Tabletop, there was a girl dressed as a witch from Left 4 Dead in the corner crying to herself. Yeah. And so everyone was sort of just watching it, and she would stand up and sort of stumble around and then collapse and sob on the floor. And then a guy came up to her and hit her on the head with one of those inflatable NVIDIA bows.
Smart, right?
And he was like, and she screamed at him and jumped up, and he was terrified. He ran. And I watched her chase this guy all the way down the hall, screaming as loud as she could.
With claws.
And then I look over, and standing next to me is one of the convention center security guards. And he just looks at me like, what, am I supposed to do something? I just said, I look over, and the guy had no idea. Like, do I draw my gun? Is he in trouble? It was bizarre.
Should have told him to turn his flashlight off.
Don't mess with the witches.
So first, I have a bit of two prefaces, and a comment for Jerry, and a question for Mike.
Two prefaces, a question, and a comment.
Okay.
Yeah, so preface number one, I'm a graduate student in psychology, and I work with language and communication, mainly metaphor. So, as follows, your news posts are my favorite part of PA.
Oh, thank you.
Essentially, I love them. And August of last year, around the time of the last PAX, I was talking to a professor I have contact with at another university, and she was teaching a class on metaphor, and she was looking for examples of how to use it in the different ways. So I actually pulled your news posts and gave them to her, so they were used to teach people about psych at the university level.
What?
I don't know, I just wanted to tell you that.
That's really crazy.
Yeah. It's on the show, you're always saying, we shit out of JPEG, I don't have real skills, but I think you do, in terms of
thank you.
Word weaving, and so on.
I really appreciate that.
The second one is on the cover. It's about the Lookouts thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was wondering for the monster if the inspiration, it looks like a really fat and old Krogan. Like a senior song, Occur to you?
That actually wasn't. The inspiration for that monster is a lionhead goldfish. I don't know how many of you people, like, if you know about these fish, but there's a super ugly goldfish that has a giant red growth on its head. It's disgusting. What's that? Oh yeah, Google image search for it, and you'll see exactly where that monster came from. And I just sort of...
You do it and show it.
Oh, me? I don't know that. I don't have wireless here. Turn it on.
Wi-Fi sucks in this room.
Free public Wi-Fi.
So you're saying this is a really ugly fish?
So this is Kiko's computer. Should we look at his history? That's so mean.
Goldfish. Okay. Son of a bitch.
You guys broke the internet.
Oh.
So you flip him, right? And that's, give him some legs. And that's where I got the monster idea from. So.
But a bunch of the creatures that are in that sort of universe are combinations of weird things. So the cover that you have on there was the second cover, right?
Yeah.
The first cover was really cool. It had a creature that was like a huge owl that was mixed with an elk. It was like a huge owl with horns.
I might be able to get that one.
God, I mean, I was stirred by this image. Like, it was really, really amazing, I thought.
Can we take the image off the screen for a second while I input my password and stuff? My emails?
But here, so we'll pull this up. What was that question?
Actually, that was it. So
Oh,
thank you.
Provided a lot of content.
So first off, this is my first PAX. I'm from New Jersey, so it's not that impressive. So thank you for this.
Your people are here, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like 6 hours though, so it's no big deal. I have a question. They say you should never meet your heroes, but I think that people that say that haven't met you guys. And I just wanted to say that, wow, I got to meet you guys at New York Comic Con, and I was shocked by how nice and personable and kind and Jerry, you asked me questions, which is something I was wholly unprepared for.
Yes, we were having a conversation.
I go to conventions and stuff, and usually it's like I get to ask 2 questions,
Okay,
and then they're looking at the guy behind me.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I just try to be as... See? Isn't that great?
What? You are yelling at once.
Wallpaper!
Oh, make a wallpaper. Oh, I can do that.
Yeah, but it's just... Because this is the other one, so it has one lookout down at the bottom, and then it has this crazy elk owl thing, which is just, I don't know, I thought he did a really good job on that. I like the other cover, but I think it's great. I'm glad I did not disappoint you. That's something I think about a lot.
Well, so
at night when I'm alone in my bed.
my question from that is I've dealt with other people where they'll answer one or two questions politely, and then they look at the person behind you. But I wanted to ask, is that a conscious choice for you guys, or does it come kind of from the abundance of who you are? And then the second question.
Yes, I am abundant. I would say I'm more abundant than
He's been working out. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, overflow of personality, whatever. But my second question for that is, can you tell a story where you've been pushed to your limit on that and it's been hilarious?
Well, the Elementor saga came out of that.
Oh yeah.
Scenario.
Do you want to do that, or?
I think you can probably tell it better.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we did a comic a long time ago where we're at a table and then a dude is talking to us nonstop without punctuation, just about his awesome character. And I know that we indulged in this a little bit earlier, but I had the presence of mind to feel bad about it. That's what's different. So he was telling us all about this, some kind of dungeon master. Like it was some kind of thing. I like Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, but this was beyond my threshold. But that's where the idea of the Elementor saga came. Like we just took everything that he told us and then plugged it into a greater universe. So when something, you have to understand that like creating humor, creating comic strips, making jokes, like That is a